Oh, here comes a sick one.
Ronnie and Ford breaking things down. We're all washed up on the whole down.
Welcome to another edition of The Hold Down. I'm your host, Ronnie Blakey. This is my co-host, a veteran surf journalist, a surf encyclopedia with no spine. It is also my big brother. How you going, Vaughan?
Yeah, good, thanks, doggy. Look at me, mate, I'm flying.
And flying is the key word today, as we're going to break down some of the biggest aerials in the history of the sport. How fun is this going to be? Because they're getting pretty big.
Oh, mate, this is going to be unreal because aerial surfing when I was a kid, that's where we wanted to go. We were done with the old school power guys. We didn't want to know about that stuff. We wanted to take to the air, mate. Even though you did get bashed by the older kids at board riders who, you know, were the staunch Potts, Elko, Tom Carroll supporters. The air is where we wanted to go, mate. I was ready.
We're going to go sky high, kicking off with our number 5 on the list. One of the biggest airs of all time. Here it is. 5! Yes, coming in at number 5 is Felipe Toledo, Vaughan, one of the best aerialists the world has ever known.
For sure, for sure. Brings a lot of technique to his air surfing. It's not so much the big punky airs like you see the Noahs and these guys doing. It is really refined style. His make rate has got to be up there with the best, surely the best, I think. But some of the airs that Felipe has done, it's not so much just the size of them, it's actually where and when he does them. He busts these things out in competitions where most guys would never even risk it. So he is really leading the charge to make airs functional.
Yeah, definitely. I think Felipe is benefiting now from always surfing at 100%. That's always been his MO. At any time he's out there in a free surf, whether he's got the jersey on or not, he's always trying to surf as fast and as big as possible.
It's crazy. I remember hearing Martin Potter, your buddy up there on the WSL commentary panel, saying that when he won his world title, he had to pull his surfing back to about 90, even 85%. Not sure of the exact number, Potts, but I know you were pulling it back, mate, because Potts at that time was regarded as the best free surfer in the world, and he was the leader of the aerial generation. But he couldn't take that style of surfing on tour because they just weren't ready for it yet. Now, Felipe demands that the rest of the world follows him up. So, like, there is no holding back from Felipe. He's not going to bring his surfing down. He wants everyone to follow him up. And that's why we're seeing the best airs in the world right now. A lot of them are going down in WSL heats.
Enough of this, enough talk. Let's see it. We're going to go all the way to Rio for the Championship Tour event when Felipe busted out one of the biggest backhand air reverses we'd ever seen. He basically drove down the line, avoiding sections where he could have been doing turns because he wanted something big on the end section, and man, oh man, did he deliver.
Oh my goodness, this thing is mondo. He just flies down the line. You knew that when he took off, he was wanting a 10. Like, there's nothing in his brain that says, I'm just gonna, you know, get my score on this. He lined it up from the second he got to his feet, loaded, hit that springboard, and holy moly, did he hit it right on that point where it'll just project you and fling you out. It's like a slingshot, just off he goes. And it's one of the biggest, certainly one of the most longest aerials we've ever seen. It just goes for miles, mate.
Yeah, well, I actually, let's do it by the numbers.
Okay, go.
Okay, so I asked Felipe, everyone wants to know what a guy's riding when he does a turn like that, and Felipe was riding a Marcio Suvi Sharp Eye surfboard, 510, and if you look at the length of the board, and then put the length of that board from the takeoff to where he lands, you can fit 5 boards there.
Oh my God. So what are we talking, 25 feet?
We're talking a 25-foot air.
Mate, that's bigger than the wave that Brock Little got barreled on at Waimea.
Yep, he's jumping busted.
Crazy.
So it's pretty remarkable stuff. I guess the other big number that you've got to keep in mind is the score that the judges rightfully threw at him for that ride. It was a 10, just one big individual turn.
And speaking of that, we've really seen aerial surfing begin to take on a much better understanding in the minds of the judges. I think that there was a time where there was a little bit of there were big numbers being thrown down without totally understanding the complexity of the air. Was it a simple one? Was it an easier one? I mean, the one that comes to mind for me, we've talked about it on the show before, Gabby Medina's air reverse in the semi-finals to beat Mick Fanning for the world title. Joke score! I'm just going to keep on throwing it out there because I hate it. But, you know, like when a guy does something like Felipe did in Brazil, there is no question. Every air guy in the world knows that's a 10.
When the airs are a medium-sized air, that's when the judges have to start thinking about the criteria. How much rotation was there? How high did he go above the lip? Did he stop the landing?
Yeah.
But when an air that big is greased so cleanly, they don't have to think about anything.
No, it's nice.
It's involuntary. The number just goes in itself.
Yeah,
it should be automatic.
The judges love it when they don't have to think, Ron. But yeah, look, this air will definitely live for a fair while as a real gold standard aerial that we've seen in competition. Felipe just seems to be able to dish him out at will. But when one is like at that level where even he's probably coming in going, whoa, that was pretty special, there can be only one number, and that's 10.
Yeah, one of the best airs we've seen in competition, one of the best airs we've ever seen, hands down. There's still more to come on our list. Stick around, you're watching The Hold Down.
We're all washed up on the whole game.
Oh, here comes a sick one.
Ronnie and Ford breaking things down. We're all washed up on the whole game.
Welcome back to the show. Here on The Hold Down today, we are looking at some of the biggest airs ever stomped. And man, oh man, Felipe Toledo in Brazil, that was a huge backside air reverse. Something a little different now.
Here we go.
For number 4 on the list. Here it is, number 4. Julian Wilson goes next level at Karamas. How is this next air we're going to have a look at?
Wow. Oh man, I am tripping on this thing because it is so smooth. It's like buttery. It's so good, man. Off the lip, a big wave, perfectly corked, straight into the tranny, right straight out of it. It's as good as a big air will get.
Yeah, unbelievable stuff. Julian Wilson, you know, he's long been regarded as one of the most technically brilliant surfers above the lip. But when he put out this free surfing edit last year, Wayward, no one could believe what they were seeing. And Karamas really is a perfect ramp, isn't it, for those kind of moves?
I think it's been the wave that has really given us some of the great airs of the past, probably like near decade now. If it's been open for alongside that side of Bali a long time, and it just seems to be able to give these guys fantastic ramps. You know, we know of the John oop in the CT there. We've got Julian himself making a fantastic oop in that comp as well. It is just a real nice wedge that just hucks you right up there. I mean, Andy and Bruce too, they did some wonderful, huge aerials out there over the years. This one to me though is just next level. I mean, I cannot believe his positioning on the board, the way that he sort of like regains control at the top of the aerial, and then where he's already looking as he's coming around, all that distance up in the sky to just fully hit that tranny so smooth. Remarkable.
Yeah, you can tell that he's thinking something big from the takeoff because he starts loading up that speed. And it's a tricky air to go for an alley-oop if the wind's not kind of working in your favour. That's why he goes to the grab, because he wants to keep that equipment locked to his feet. And he does such a good job of it. I don't think we've seen a better version of that corked out alley-oop than what Julian put on there.
He's got it all, Julian. I just cannot wait to see him put together a contest year. This year is looking really good for him. Can he start pulling it out? Because I'd love to see him bring this approach to a few more heats as well. I guess like the thing is, with aerials becoming more and more technical, everyone's starting to talk about what are they called, how far around is the rotation. It really doesn't matter when you see an air like this. Call it whatever you want. Get your protractor out and break it down to the last degree. Who cares? It's just a big meaty air that blows your mind.
All right, well, we've seen some airs in some medium-sized waves. What about an air in some of the big stuff? This is our number 3. Yes, coming in at number 3 is Lenny surfing Jaws. This is actually after the Piahi Challenge a couple of years back. Kai went out there unsatisfied with the semi-final result and wanted to get a little bit more. He put together one of the greatest free surfing sessions at Jaws we've ever seen.
Yeah, and really a little cherry on top of the whole session, which featured big open face top to bottom carving it, you know, in surf we'd never seen the likes of before. But then just throws out this giant snowboarding air out of nowhere. I mean, it's 15 feet in the air at least. Never seen anything like this, especially an attempted landing, and he stuck it beautifully. But, I mean, the purists might be screaming at us, including this air in a list of the great aerials. But I don't mind telling you, this is new ground, and we will see guys on tow starting to take to these giant ramps and bring that snowboarding mentality to it, there's no doubt. This has been the dream for big wave surfing for so long. I mean, everyone has always thought at some point we're not just going to be taking the drop on these waves, we're going to be ripping them. And Lenny is the man most likely. If your knees straighten out, if you hit a bit of chop, everything could explode on impact.
I just love watching Lenny surf. I mean, the guy is a champion, windsurfer, stand-up paddler, hydrofoiler, paddler. He just doesn't care. He'll do anything that has anything to do with water. He's basically a master of it. And I think that, you know, that air, who cares? He's strapped in, you know, and definitely uses those straps to his advantage with that front side air.
I'll never forgive him for the foil, but I can wrap that air all the way. Go, Kai.
A very, very worthy addition to the list, I think. We're going to take a quick break. More to come here on the Hold Down. Stick around. We've got number 2 just around the corner.
We're all washed up on the whole game.
Oh, here comes a sick one.
20 and 4, breaking things down. We're all washed up on the whole game.
Welcome back to the Hold Down. Serious stuff here today. We are taking a very close look at some of the biggest airs ever landed, and it's been a pretty impressive list so far, Vaughan.
Loving it, love the air. I just want to go there myself.
So let's have a look at what we've seen so far. We saw the huge backside air reverse from Felipe at number 5. At number 4, Julian Wilson's corked out alley-oop from Karamas. Lenny launching a big frontside air at Jaws.
Good to see you.
Thank you very much. The next one we're going to have a look at is maybe one of the best combos that we've ever seen in the sport of surfing. This is your number 2. Kolohe Andino in Portugal, 2015. Piped out of his mind and then launches, at that time, what might have been the biggest alley-oop ever landed.
Why is the alley-oop the go-to for the big air at the moment? It's crazy. It drifts in and out of favour in terms of being a fashionable air. I mean, Timmy Curran back in the Focus days, he was the guy who really thought or changed the perception of alley-oops because they didn't really exist in any sort of way that people wanted to do them. But he really brought a new energy to the alley-oop. And then in the last few years, it's been the turn that seems to just really enable you to sort of flick your body into that section and get the height as well as the distance. So this one is definitely, as you said, probably the pinnacle of alley-oops, especially with the combo. This thing had the world on its knees just doing these ones. I remember CJ Hobgood just absolutely losing his mind when he saw this on the gram. And mate, Kolohe Andino, you just forget sometimes. You forget how good the guy is. He's an underachiever on tour, there's no doubt about it, but his talent level is off the hook. And when he gets angry and when he starts throwing it like this one, that's when I love him the most.
Oh, I love this wave. Just what more could you ask for as a surfer as far as just combining the two biggest things, the two things that I think everyone loves the most. They're the most entertaining things in the sport, big barrels and then big airs. And he absolutely nails both of these. So he drives into this wave, almost backdoors the section. He comes out just a bit before the spit, but it's just that quick exit that gives him the speed to launch himself sky high.
This is really where aerial surfing has changed because in the old days, the guys were on such heavy equipment that was so thick to get through the lip and into the sky, really had to punch through it. It was almost a power move. That's why guys like Archie and Martin Potter and all those sorts of guys were really leading the way. When boards started to change and you had guys like Christian Fletcher bringing a skate mentality to it, it became a little more technical. But this is the perfect blend of the both. This is high speed, full power, hucking it as high as you can possibly go. And those combination of elements allow you to just take it to the next level and reach heights that we haven't seen before. This is the perfect example of that.
If you watch that clip closely, just watch this play out. Right outside, watching on from out the back, one of the best aerialists of all time, Josh Kerr, is just left stunned.
Yes!
Just clap. All he can do is clap. What can he do?
Yeah.
Josh has had some huge airs in his career, but nothing like that.
Oh, I love that. And pay attention. If you're a grommet out there and you want to see just what these guys are doing, at the very top of the air, have a look at their eyes. they are scanning landing zones right at the peak. So, you know, they're already looking for the spot to get that puffy little cushion. Oh, it's exciting stuff.
Another special moment there for Kolohe Andino, but we've still got one big air to reveal our #1 spot on the hold down. Stick around, it's coming up after the break.
We're all washed up on the whole game.
Oh, here comes a sick one.
Ronnie and Ford breaking things down. We're all washed up on the whole game.
Welcome back to the hold down. Ronnie Blakey here with his big bro Vaughan, and we've been running through some of the biggest airs ever landed. But we're yet to reveal our #1, so get ready for your eyeballs to explode. Here it is at #1, John Florence. 2016, John Florence is chasing down his second consecutive world title, and all the hype is on his rivalry with Gabriel Medina. These guys are both ruling the free surfing sessions, but John, he is just making statements all over the place.
I remember this lead up so perfectly. He was all over the North Shore. If there was a good day at one wave, he was on it. If it was somewhere else the next day, he was on it. He was doing stormy free surfs, just carving the living daylights out of everything, getting pitted off his head on the best days at pipe.
The big story was every time that John Florence went to have a practice session, Medina would pull on his boardies, grab his board, go out and sit right next to him. They weren't really talking. Every time that happened, John delivered yet another just absolute mental blow, and there was none better than this monstrous alley-oop. We thought that Kolohe Andino's was solid, but have a look at how greased this landing is from John Florence. This is surfing between backdoor and off the wall.
Wow, I mean, that is one treacherous little bit of reef. It's John's playground. He loves it. I remember doing an interview with Bruce Irons years ago, saying, what's the best ramp in the world? When Bruce was the guy taking aerial surfing to new heights. And he said, it's that stretch between backdoor and off the wall. That's where it happens. It's just, you've got so much speed, it comes at you so hard. Nothing will huck you higher than that little seggy of reef. And John out there has surfed it since he was just a tiny little urchin. And mate, this one, there is so much daylight between his fins and the lip of the wave. It's almost like a whole cycle of the sun goes up and down before he lands.
Oh, it's incredible stuff. But another alley-oop. What's the story with that? Why are the alley-oops featuring so heavily in our list?
Aerials, just they come and go in and out of favour. A few years ago, people didn't like wheelie airs. They didn't like, you know, airs, the air reverse, which was just a go-to, a staple. It became so common that, you know, you'd go to a junior surfing event and you'd see guys hit that little shorey on the end and do an air reverse, and it almost killed them. I mean, they're just almost so unfashionable now, unless it's a full rotor. But the alley-oop just seems to be the air that they all go to if they want to go as high as they can go.
I think too with the alley-oop, you don't need a special kind of oncoming section with a nice fluffy landing. You can take off on the meatiest wave, and if you get your projection right, you'll keep ahead of the pocket of the wave and always find that transition. So it affords you the opportunity to obviously spot your landing, find that sweet transition, which John does so well in that clip. And
For sure. I think, yeah, you take off closer to the pocket and you're actually already looking down with a lot more time, rather than if your body's rotating. Even a straight air, you've got to look over your shoulder a little bit, you know? So it's just one of those airs that puts all the ingredients into place for a better shot at landing.
It just feels to me that when the waves get big, no one's better. In sizey waves, no one surfs harder, no one goes bigger than John Florence.
No, for sure, and it's worth remembering, John has been leading the aerial revolution for some time. Everyone on earth loves how this guy takes off. His style in the air is really borrowed from skate. He's got very low shoulders, he keeps his arms down. There's a lot of sort of style around John's aerial surfing that not every single guy has. There's guys out there who can do crazy aerials, but they lose their bodies, or they, you know, it's too Hail Mary. He just seems to be a little bit more thoughtful about how he wants to change aerial surfing. It's like it's a goal, it's in there somewhere. And because he is so comfortable in the big surf, we're going to see much, much bigger airs.
Yeah, bigger surf equals bigger airs. John Florence, well and truly sitting on the throne when it came to putting this list together. What an incredible air it was. Love watching it unfold once again. But we do have a special little bonus for you because not too long ago we put it out there on social media. We wanted to find the best air or the highest air executed by an unsponsored, unheralded ripper. And we found this one from Ben Howard. What a beauty.
Oh man, and talking about the air reverse, if you're gonna do one, kids, do it like Benny. He just throws this thing into space, never loses control, never actually even looks like he's not gonna make it. And this guy is so staunch when he takes off and he just lands it and rides out of it like it was nothing.
Mad style points too. I believe that since we put that call out, that Ben's actually picked up some sponsorship. So good on you, Benny.
On you,
Keep
Benny.
the magic coming, mate. Looking forward to seeing some big submissions in our list of huge airs next year. But unfortunately, Vaughan, that's all we got time for on today's show. It's been another epic episode of The Hold Down. We'll see you next week for more.